So the San Jose Sharks had the 26th overall pick in the 2023 NHL Draft. They go with left winger Quentin Musty from Sudbury. Gil Martin here alongside of Hadi Kalakeche, our prospects expert. And we are now joined by J.D. Young of Locked On Sharks to talk about this selection. J.D., Quentin Musty, what does he bring to the table for the San Jose Sharks?
He brings some much added size that they need in their forwards. They've drafted small forwards recently with guys like William Eklund and Tristan Robbins and Thomas Portolo. Last year they drafted Phil Bista, but and even in tonight drafting Will Smith, who's a hair under 6 foot. But Quentin Musty brings that powered forward that they need, some more diversity among their forward group. And Musty feels like he could be a potential steal with the Sharks at 26. I know there's some compete issues that he needs to work on, but if he hits, this could be a potential top line winger for the Sharks in the future.
Hadi, talk to me about that compete level that JD just referenced.
It was really a tale of two seasons for Quentin Musty. The first half of the year, he was making some really bad reads. It was mainly the hockey sense that concerned me, but also, like JD mentioned, the effort level. But in the second half, we saw a different Quentin Musty. I believe he had mono at the start of the year or something like that, which kind of held him back. But as the year went on, he got more and more comfortable. And it became pretty clear that his hockey sense wasn't just not a weakness. It was probably his biggest strength. Once he got going, once he started getting comfortable with his wingers, he was making plays like no one else. He's already got probably a top 10 skill set in this draft, maybe even higher than that. Just the hockey sense, the hands, the shooting, the playmaking, the stick handling, all of that is really, really good. And he's got the size and the elements of a power forward. He's got the individual tools of a power forward. He just needs to put them together. But for me, the consistency has been the main issue. It's, you always kind of wonder with a player like that, is the real version of him the version we saw in the first half or the second half? I think it's the second half, and that's why I had him 13th on my board. So at 26, this is fantastic value for the Sharks. And honestly, this draft for you guys so far has been just fantastic with Will Smith and Quentin Musty in the first round. I can't wait to see what happens on day 2.
Hadi, power forwards typically take a little longer to develop. How does Quentin Musty fit into that equation?
I think it's just a matter of seeing how well he does next year. And if he's doing well next year, he's got his ELC signed. And, obviously, if he signs his ELC out of the OHL, he can't join the AHL before he's 20. But if he plays well enough next year, it's not completely out of the question that he starts off in the bottom 6 and works his way up. Like I mentioned, Musty's hockey sense is high end. So, a lot of players like that, I'm thinking of a guy like Nick Suzuki, who reminds me a lot of, started off at on the 4th line, coming out of junior, and worked his way up slowly but surely in order to become the Habs' first line center. This could be a realistic path for Musty. Sooner rather than later. Usually the concern of power forwards is they don't play a delay game well. They're not comfortable cutting to the inside. Their skill set's not as polished and as developed. Musty already has all of that. It's just a matter of just giving him a year to see what real version of Musty do we see. Do the inconsistencies continue, or do we see the second half of this season's Musty full-time next year? If we do, he'll be in the NHL by 24-25.
JD, 2 picks in the first round. What do these 2 selections say about the direction that the San Jose Sharks are heading in?
I think we can kind of put to bed the theory that Mike Grier only wants, gritty guys with guys like Will Smith and Quentin Musty. These are both very high skilled players. Like you said, Musty was ranked in the top 15 in a lot of public scouts boards. Will Smith is a dynamic offensive guru. And I think this kind of puts to bed that he only wants, 3rd line grinder type of players. And the Sharks should be excited with the skill that has just been added tonight and the potential of more added skill with a high 2nd round pick tomorrow.
All right. Well, for more on this selection and all of the Sharks' other moves around the draft and free agency, tune in to Locked On Sharks for free on your favorite podcast app and on YouTube. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.